So to get on our next topic, it's kind of important. Like, why are magical girls so important? Like, why is that genre like such a big thing? And I mean, obviously, it's a big entryway for a lot of younger women back in the day to anime. It's not the only one, but it spoke to us like in a different way. But what do you think it's like such a good genre to have and feels?
For me, I always think of it because, like, you know, it's one of the first anime I ever came across as a kid, and I feel like myself and probably a lot of other people always remember Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z as like the two like first anime that they ran into, at least in the States. And I just really liked that there was like the super hyper masculine Dragon Ball Z and then a very feminine Sailor Moon, and you had both, and you could kind of watch either and just feel like, okay, I can go between these two shows and sort of get what I want at any given moment. And I always liked that there was like an alternative. I always felt like there was so much. I would go online and just always find super like a One Piece or a Bleach or something that I was like, I don't really see any girl characters in this that I really relate to, as a kid at least. Like as an adult, it's a little different. So it was nice to feel like there was something out there that I felt like was being made for me as a kid. That's like a really powerful thing that Sailor Moon did, and a lot of like also Cardcaptors I remember watching when I was a kid too. A lot of this magical girl stuff, I'm just like, as a kid, that stuff meant so much to me, and I think that that's like a really important thing.
It's empowering. Yeah. Like the fact that Sailor Moon is always saving Tuxedo Mask. Like I've never seen that in an anime, and that she relied on her friends, and that magical girls have some sort of power within themselves. I found it very empowering.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot because a lot of Western stuff falls into this habit of having the one female character. Like if you look at ensemble casts, the most recent examples I can think of are Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. You have the one female character in the ensemble, and it's really tough when you watch a bunch of movies and everybody's super into these movies as a kid. I mean, I wasn't a kid when they came out, obviously, but you know, the boys always had multiple people to look up to. Not that girls can't look up to boys and vice versa, but I liked anime because, especially magical girl anime, because there were so many female characters that I could pick parts of them I saw that reminded me of myself, and I didn't feel trapped into being like the one girl. And it was really important because it felt like, you know, this is what my life is like. I have women around me all the time, and I never felt like I could relate to other women because we were all trying to be the same one girl. And with magical girl anime, it was much more like, well, I like this Sailor Scout and you like this one, and there's room for both of us to be ourselves. And that's why it's so important to me, is knowing that you don't have to be like every other person you see. You can pick out parts and make it your own and be yourself.
Yeah, I think also a big thing, we saw like the coming of superheroes, and like that's such a big deal in society and stuff, and just culture. And you notice most of them are men, and that's a thing. And like, cool, I love Batman and all these things, but then if you look at magical girl stuff, like that's like where all the lady superheroes are hiding, almost in a weird way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sailor Moon was so like important to me growing up too, and now. Because like it teaches a lot about like friendship too. It's just like, hey, you guys can be strong together, and like that's really important because, you know, kind of in the geek culture, it's easy to kind of feel left out, especially if in your place where there's not a lot of women who are into the same things as you.
Yeah, and you feel like you're competing for the one spot of woman all the time.
Like that's how I felt in my groups all the time. I was like, oh, there's another girl coming, but do I know more than her? You know, like, am I better?
You feel the competition.
Which is awful.
It's a horrible feeling to. Like, Miranda and I talked about this, like, when I first started working here, we were, like, both sort of like, that's a lot of plushies on her desk.
I said, do I have more cute things on my desk than her?
I was like, what if I got more plushies, though? And we, you know, because we're adults, we had a conversation about it. But when I was younger, it was very much like I had my sort of reverse harem of boys, and I was sort of protective over that. I was like, you don't talk to my boys. Like,
yeah, me too. Like, you had to outshine every other girl there because, like, we had this notion that like there's only room for one.
You're competing for the spot of like the girl, like she's the cool girl who plays the cool games and likes cool stuff. And so I would pretend I didn't like certain types of games. I wouldn't tell anybody I liked Animal Crossing. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and play Halo. Let's go play. I mean, I like Halo. That's not to put down Halo. I just like would very much push down everything else and just be like, yeah, let's play online because I'm the cool girl. And then I grew out of that real fast. But and I'm glad I did. But I think that sort of the culture that we're in creates that and perpetuates that. And so coming here actually and like talking to other women about anime and about all our favorite female characters and realizing if there's room for all the senshi, there's room for all of us. Yeah.
I think it's so good also that they just show friendship between women alongside romance. Yeah. And I feel like when I was a kid, like I probably wasn't even aware of this at the time, but like I could see not only myself, but like my actual friendships. I could kind of like see them in these anime because I was like, yeah, like my two best friends are these girls. And like then I can go watch Cardcaptor Sakura and see Sakura and Tomoyo like going out and having fun together and being amazing and just being friends and have like sort of a romance story happening alongside that. But have those like exist in harmony rather than having one show just be entirely about the like boy and the girl romance. Like there's so much more to like human relationships than like just love, and there's different kinds of love. There's love between friends.
And that's one big thing about Sailor Moon too. Is like, we always go back to Sailor Moon because it's such a big like monument within the magical girl franchise. Like, it's a genre, and it's so important because it did set up a lot of these foundations for so many people too. It's just so good. Everything is so good.
They pass the Bechdel test often, which is also good.
So let us know what you guys think about magical girls. Like, do you guys kind of pick up on the same things as us? What are your favorite series? We want to know.